Zack Smith with Fiorentino Para Anchor. I'm going to show you how easy it is to clear a line twist in a parachute sea anchor system. Line twists can occur when sailors stack up all their anchor rope and parachute on top of itself. This can permit a canopy or hardware to accidentally slip between the shroud lines, creating that twist look. Parachute shroud lines are either braided rope or web straps that are sewn to the parachute canopy. The opposite end of the shroud line is secured to some form of hardware, usually a shackle or swivel setup. Shroud lines are what permit the canopy to open up to a specific size. So if you have, let's say, shorter shroud lines, for example, the canopy can close somewhat. And if you have longer shroud lines, the canopy actually expands. So this affects drag, meaning how much a parachute anchor might actually slow your boat's drift down. So what we want to do before we clear the twisted shroud lines, we want to make sure the canopy label is on the outside of the parachute itself. This will make it a little bit easier to straighten out the shroud lines. The top of the parachute anchor, also referred to as the apex, that's the small opening on top of the parachute itself. So either I have a person that holds the top, I can use a cleat on my boat to help secure or anchor the top of the parachute sea anchor. In this case, I'm actually securing it to a post. By securing to the post, I have something that's going to be real solid when I go to clear the twisted shroud lines. Let me show you how this works. So I'm going to walk back over here to the stainless hardware that I have here on the Fiorentino brand parachute anchor and create a twist. Frequently, I've noticed in the 25 years that I've deployed this equipment, I sometimes have noticed a single twist in the parachute sea anchor. Now, regardless of what brand, the canopy still inflates and still holds the boat in place. So I don't care if there's like a little bit of a twist. I am only concerned if there's a whole lot of twists within the parachute anchor itself. So let me extend this, and you can see here's an obvious twist, right? Because I dropped the hardware through the shroud lines itself. So the trick is, what I want to do is I want to go up to the canopy itself and place my fingers through the shroud lines, just like this. And then I'm going to walk slowly back to the hardware. Okay, and what's really nice about Fiorentino's patented pairing is it really spreads open the shroud line, so it makes it a bit easier to show where the line twist is. Here's the single line twist. I can see the difference here. So let me straighten that out. And what I'm looking for, do the shroud lines look all straight, whether it's web straps or braided rope like Fiorentino has? And let's just say there's one line on, you go, gosh, that looks kind of like it's still tangled, I'm not sure. What you can do is you grab each individual shroud line on the canopy and you just keep walking it to your, just keep walking the canopy until you can make sure all the shroud lines are straight. That's another way of making sure everything is clear. Okay, so let me do this again. Go ahead. I'm going to twist this, but this time I might do a couple. Let me just do a couple twists. More than one. So now you can really see how we have twists in the shroud lines. Remember, what I want to do is let the shroud line slide between my fingers, and I'm looking for those obvious twists, and you can all see where the twists are here. But see how these shroud lines here kind of, I'm trying to look for a pattern of where are a whole bunch of these lines, twisted. So let me think here. I'm going to grab this. I'm seeing it looks like there's a whole bunch this way, so I can flip this. And actually I got that in one shot. I'm not sure how. Well, sometimes it just works out well. I was able to clear the shroud lines rather quickly, and really what's making this so easy is because of the pairing. It has that nice spread of shroud lines. When you have a shackle set up or a deployment bag that might be attached to the parachute itself, it just takes a little bit longer for clearing the shroud lines. I do want to mention one time I was volunteering at a race event, and the bag was attached to the hardware of the parachute sea anchor itself. It was severely twisted, and I could clear most of the shroud lines except for the very last one. Somehow the twist was impossible to clear, and it turns out I think the manufacturer had sewn the shroud line incorrectly on the swivel itself. But that's not, if that happens to happen to you, I think that's a very rare occurrence. If it does happen, you just have to cut the line loose and then re-secure it to the proper location. Some parachute anchor manufacturers use webbing as shroud lines. Frequently they include a deployment bag that's either attached to the top of the parachute sea anchor or by the hardware itself. And in some instances they have deployment bags attached on both ends of the parachute sea anchor. This does create a little bit of a challenge when clearing the shroud lines, but I'm still going to clear them the exact same way I do when I'm clearing a Fiorentino para anchor. So I will secure, well, regardless of the brand, I'm still securing the top of the parachute, the apex of the parachute anchor, and I'm going to slide down to all the shroud lines. In this case, these are web shroud lines. I'm going to run these lines through my fingers, and sometimes these web straps will run into a split web straps, meaning it's going in two different directions, which is fine. I'm still going to follow the method I learned from Gerard Fiorentino back in the mid-1990s. He's the commercial fisherman and namesake of Fiorentino para anchor, but it's going to be the same thing. You run your fingers all the way down to the hardware. You'll see a noticeable twist, and in that twist we go ahead and slide our hardware through it, and deployment bag if there's a deployment bag attached to the parachute sea anchor. I hope you find the clearing of the shroud lines useful for you. If you have any more questions, please ask in the comments below. Thank you for watching.